Hello, Mike Sena here, and this is video number 2 of my Talon 4 robot series. Today we'll be talking about batteries and what we use and how many and the types of batteries that we use to operate the operating system and the robot itself. So what we have here is a military battery, it's rechargeable, of course. This is a lithium-ion battery. They also have one that is not lithium-ion, but the lithium-ions have a much higher amp rating. So this is a 19.8 amp hour battery. And you'll notice here it says 14.4 volts, but it also says 28.8 volts. If you look at the pinouts of this battery, you'll see 12 volts and 12 volts, which in battery terms, 14.4 volts is kind of 12 volts. So it'll charge up to 14.4. So what you'll see here is the two 12 volt lines, 12 volt plus and a 12 volt minus, and we'll have a 12 volt minus and 12 volt plus here. So that's how those pins are arranged, two different buses for two different sets of 12 volts. Once you combine those, they become the 48 volts. I mean the 24 volts or the 28.8 volts that this battery can go to. That's why they have two different voltages here. The robot will use 12 volts sometimes, and sometimes it'll use the 28 volts to operate. So let's first put this one in its compartment. There's a connector here. All we have to do is line these up, plug them in. Drop it down into its area. And that's basically all you have to do for this command center, except for turn it on. For this big robot, we have up to 6 batteries, and these batteries, you don't have to use all 6 batteries in this unit. You can actually use a minimum of 2 batteries and the robot will work just fine. If you want more capacity, you can use 4 batteries. If you want the maximum capacity and the maximum holding and the maximum runtime, you can use all 6 batteries. So where did I get these batteries from? So after buying the robot, I had to search for batteries, and what I was told were these military spec batteries cost between $500 and $600, and I knew I probably want the maximum amount, which is 7 batteries. That would cost quite a bit. So in searching for batteries, I found this Shenzhen PowerTime technology, which charged a fraction of that price, and I was able to buy the 7 batteries. I was very, very happy with the maximum capacity of the batteries. Each battery was 19.8 amp hours. And at first I just bought 2 batteries for the robot, one for the control center, but and I ran it for a couple of hours. After that, those couple hours, I looked at the meters, the little meters that are on top of this battery, and I found that I still had 80% charge in them, which was incredible, as you'll see how the thing moves and the amount of cameras and what's going on in there, that they drop down in such little power. So these are fantastic batteries. They're military spec, and they also sell the chargers which are right here. These are the batteries on the charger, but we will go outside and I'll show you how those charge on that charger, and we'll take a look at how they go into the robot. So this is the charger here in real life. You'll notice it's built nice and rugged to military standard. And we have these two connectors for two of the batteries to plug in at a time. And they just fit right over the battery. And once you push them in, they will start charging. So let's go ahead and load this robot up with all its batteries. So if you look over here, there's the ballistic cloth. You must move on each side of this robot, and then remove the cover on each side of this robot. And again, you'll see 6 compartments there for 6 batteries. If we want to, again, we can just load 2, but we're going to go ahead and load this with all 6 batteries, so you'll see what it looks like. And this is the configuration for if you were using just 2 batteries, 1 on each side. And if you're going to use 4, there's where you would put the other 2, the next 2. Finally, the last 2. You can put the covers on or you can leave them off, but for this video's purposes, I'll put these back on. I think I'll put them back on. There we go. This, of course, is to protect batteries when you are in hostile situations. Now there's a panel here that kind of shows you the state of the batteries, with which each of these LEDs will show you the status. So they'll display different statuses according to the amount of charge that are in these batteries. I ran this robot with 2 batteries, and we played with it all night, and it actually lasted a very long time. And then also I put in all 6 and we played with them, and the batteries only went down like 1 square of the, it showed it only ran down to one of the squares, so it really didn't take up that much capacity for the battery. And of course that's due to the amount of amp hours the batteries supply. So the next thing we'll do, according to their manual, is kind of counterintuitive to me, is we're going to turn the robot on first, and then we're going to turn on the controller. Typically that's exactly opposite. You always want to turn on your remote controller first. So, but the manual says turn on the robot first. So back here, we've got switches. say on and off, and we're just going to push this on, and we're going to push this one on. Next, we're going to go over here to this box, and we are going to turn the power on. And this unit will have booted up, and it will show you these 4 screens for the different cameras we have. So if I'm so see my body right here is on the far camera right there, and the gripper camera is right here, and the rear camera right there, and where's the other camera? One, two, oh, and this camera that's underneath the arm. So each one of those cameras you can pretty much use to drive the robot. So let's just quickly go through what each controls do on this controller.